May is Mental Health Month. So your frame of mind dictates your health, your mental health, your physical health, everything. And you can change it with one of these. Did you know that? Let's talk about it on the live. Good morning. Good morning. So we're coming to you on 7 platforms this morning. And we're coming to you from Here For You Life Coaching. I'm Junior. And this morning we're going to talk a little bit about mental health because May is Mental Health Month. And we're going to talk about how you can change your mental health. Okay, so there's a reason why they say the pen is mightier than the sword. There's a reason for that, okay? Because how you think determines your life. How you think determines not necessarily your life path, but how you think can distract you from your life path. How you think, good morning, Jay, how you think can actually push you off of your life path. If you doubt, if you're experiencing fear, all negative emotions are rooted in fear. So when you're experiencing these thoughts that make you fearful, okay, your imagination can give you a whole bunch of what ifs. Okay, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens? What if that happens, right? So now that's where you get into prejudice, right? You're prejudging things. Prejudice. So I'm prejudging this, right? Because you're doing this ahead of time. You're judging ahead, prejudge, okay? So you're judging without the experience of something. So now when you're judging without the experience, okay, it hasn't happened yet, but you're saying, well, this is like this or this is like that, and then you experience it and you go, oh yeah, it wasn't that bad. Or you go, oh yeah, it wasn't what I thought, right? It's not what I thought. Okay, so instead of prejudging, instead of being prejudiced, okay, against anything, we have known this as, oh, well, racial prejudice. There's all kinds of prejudice. I experienced so many different kinds of prejudice in my life. It's not even funny, okay? And you have too, okay? Maybe you haven't recognized it as that, but you have too. Everybody does, okay? Because everybody prejudges at some point, okay? So it takes your subconscious, or let's say it another way, you have to train your subconscious, but it takes your subconscious to rise above this, to rise above prejudice. Because in your imagination, you're already trying to put it together, right? Okay, but remember that the how is always God's job, okay? So allow God to do the how. Okay, how is this going to happen? How is that going to happen? Okay, but we have imagination, so we try to figure it out, right? Oh, well, this might happen like that. This might happen like that. This might happen like that. Okay, worry is, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if that happens? So you run these scenarios through your head first, right? This is a possibility. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. The truth is there are infinite possibilities. But the ones you run through your mind to prejudge something, okay, are the ones that you're going to pay attention to, right? You're going to focus on those things. And when you focus on those things, it brings fear. When you focus on those things, it brings doubt. And what happens when that happens? Well, your life path may be like this, and this will take you like this, and this will push you off of your life path. Your life path is your natural inclination to something, your natural gifts, things you were born to do. Okay, now sometimes, as in my case, right, we go like this on purpose. I want to do that. I want to do that. You know, for me, it was like, I want to do entertainment. I want to make people laugh. I want to be silly. I want to have fun. I want to, you know, like that. Okay. And God said, no. You come back over here. You come back and teach over here. You know, because that's my natural inclination. That's my natural thing. My parents are teachers. I'm a teacher. My son was a teacher. My son ended up a teacher. My son was a drill sergeant. So he was, you know, we don't know about my grandson yet. I haven't heard of what he's doing yet, but yeah. But it's like that. Okay, so these things are inbred. Teaching is inbred. Years ago, there was, you know, I always use this as an example. Years ago, there was a commercial on TV, and the commercial was for a milk company that's no longer here. But you know, the commercial went something like this: well, my grandfather drove the milk truck, and my father drove the milk truck. Now I'm driving the milk truck. And when I first saw that years and years ago, I I said to myself, well, this family doesn't have any ambition. But no, that family was a dairy family. That family drove milk trucks. That's what they did. Okay. Now, there are certain things that are inherent to certain, genetics, epigenetics. When you study epigenetics, you'll see it. These things are transferred down. I did not learn until I had a horse that horses, the more you train a horse, the smarter the horse gets. When the horse has babies, the babies are smart, or some of the babies may be exceptional, or let's say smarter than the others. Okay, but this is epigenetics in humans as well. It works that way in the animal kingdom. It works that way with human beings. So whatever you teach your children, it's important to teach the children. It's important to invest in the children. Okay, whether you do it, whether they get a good education or, whatever their level of schooling is, but it's important that this happens. Now there's a lot of self-education. So self-education, a lot of people are online, right? College is kind of like an old school flex for a lot of things. Okay, nobody goes to, I had this discussion earlier, and this discussion went kind of like, well, college is not necessary anymore for certain things. Nobody goes to college to be smart. People go to college to learn a trade, right? So you go to college, right, and your focus is economics, or your focus is business, or your focus is dentistry, or your focus is nursing, or your focus is, right, like that. So you study that, okay? So within my clientele, okay, are high performance professionals. That's what I call them. I call them high performance professionals because they operate in high stress jobs. Their jobs are very, very stressful, okay? And they have to get through it. And my job is to enlighten them on certain things so to make their job easier. And they create budgets to see me. They create budgets every month. That's part of what they do, okay? Because with high performance professionals, personal growth is very, very important. It's very important. It makes the difference between success and maybe not so successful. It makes the difference. It pushes people ahead. So, this is Mental Health Awareness Month. Okay, so we're trying to give you things to push you ahead. This is my community service. This is what I do. Okay, so I'm going to share. I made the decision to share with people. I made the decision, okay, we're going to do this on 7 platforms every day at 7 at 7. Okay, so we're doing this. So what can you do? What can the average person do? What can the guy that, drive the milk truck do, right? Okay, so, this is for everybody. You're a human being, and everybody is important. If you don't think everybody is important, just wait until your garbage doesn't get picked up for 1 week. Just wait till the garbage men go on strike, right? Everything's going to back up. And you know what? You are going to worship the garbage man, okay? Just imagine, right? Just imagine if doctors went on strike. Just imagine if you couldn't get to see a doctor when you're sick. Just imagine, right? You'll end up worshiping the doctor. Okay, the guy who rakes the park, the guy who cleans the park, who does maintenance. Okay, when the parks start looking like, right? When the parks start looking bad and stuff, you're gonna wish that they were working. You're going to see them in a different way. So everyone has their place in society. Everyone is important. Nobody is really more important than the other. It depends on the circumstance. It depends on what's going on and how you see it, and right? So anyway, with that said, Mental Health Awareness Month, okay? Here's the medicine right here. This is good medicine for Mental Health Awareness Month. Okay, the pen is mightier than the sword because you can design your life. Okay? Now, a belief is a thought you keep thinking. Okay, we keep telling you this. We keep telling you that a belief is a thought you keep thinking. So, how do your thoughts make you well? How do your thoughts make you sick? Can you get sick thinking bad thoughts? Oh, yeah. But it's not the way you think. It's not the way the average person thinks. Every thought you think sends a signal through your brain, okay? These signals trigger chemical messengers called neurotransmitters, okay? And they produce hormones. These chemicals affect how you feel and how your body reacts. So what kind of hormones are you talking about, Uncle? Well, I'm talking about dopamine, serotonin, talking about oxytocin, endorphins, okay? These are from good thoughts. When you're thinking good thoughts, this chemical reaction happens in your brain. It's not just thinking good thoughts so you become a good person. That's not why you're supposed to think good thoughts. You're supposed to think good thoughts to remain healthy. My clients see me every week. They rarely see me sick. I rarely get sick. I'm not flexing. I'm saying you can do this too. Okay, I'm not saying this because I'm, trying to be better than anybody or anything like that. It's not a flex. It's reality. Okay. So I take natural supplements. Natural supplements when I'm, just about feeling like, oh, something's up, right? But you have to be aware. Your self-awareness has to rise before you get to that point. When your nose twitches like that, what do? You shake it off. You go, I'm okay. I'm all right. Okay? You're in denial. Okay? When you're self-aware, you go, oops, something's up, right? So I take this thing called wellness formula and by Source Naturals. Okay? Look into it. There's another thing called Umka. Look into it. It's on Amazon. It's everywhere. You can get it at a health food store. But I went through 15 years of performances without missing a performance, not one. We never missed a performance. We overbooked once, not flexing or anything, but we made mistakes, right? We overbooked one party. We had to refund the person and oh, sorry about that. One time. So yeah, we make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But I never canceled a performance because I was ill. I never had to, because our performance. So let me, put it in perspective. We had a wedding and party business. And the wedding and party business is like a one-time thing. You get married one time. You have a baby party one time. You have an anniversary party one time. You have a birthday party one time that year. Okay. So our business actually dealt with these unique occasions that happened one time. And it required me to be there. Okay, we signed contracts. Okay, that's another thing. We didn't pencil people in. Okay, that's nonsense. If you're dealing with somebody that, is going to pencil you in, that means they can erase it. Okay, that's why they say pencil you in. No, we signed contracts. We signed contracts and we had contracts to fulfill. It's business. If you're dealing with somebody who's penciling you in, chances are at the event, he's going to pay you in cash and it's illegal. Okay, so I'm just saying, right? Don't do the pencil in stuff because you can get erased. We made a lot of money off of people that were erased. Okay, because you know how the game goes? I'll tell you how the game goes. This is just besides the point, but I'll tell you. The way the game works is if they get a better offer, okay, because this happened a lot, okay, there would be entertainers or MCs or whatever that would get better offers, and all of a sudden, somebody on Maui offers them a little bit more money, and because they penciled in the guy over here, they told the guy over here, oh, sorry, yeah, we cannot make it. But there was no contract, there was no obligation, there was no commitment, right? So they took the more money offer and left this guy hanging. So the people that were left hanging, we took a lot of those people and we signed contracts with them and we showed up and, we had to do that. But the reason I'm telling you this is just some added information that may help you with events and may help you with your family's events, okay? Your grandchildren, your children, your event, okay? So your anniversary, your baby party, stuff like that. Anyway, that's off to the left over here, okay? So let's get back on track. So what I'm talking about is staying well, okay? So mental health also depends on the way you think. Mental health, physical health, it all depends on the way you think. You know those people that are run down all the time, and they're always sick, and you always see them catching a cold, and they're always canceling out on this, that, and the other thing. It's because of the way that they think. So, this is a thing. Good thoughts trigger good, feel good, right? We call them feel good hormones. Okay, bad thoughts. What do bad thoughts do? It triggers stress hormones. Okay. Now, what happens when you run on stress? What happens when you get run down? You get run down. Cortisol, adrenaline. Okay. You know these adrenaline junkies? Okay. Always adrenaline. It's addictive. It's a chemical. There's an addiction to it. Okay. There's also addiction to dopamine. Right? People scrolling, looking, right? They've got their phone like this, right? They're scrolling it. They're addicted to the dopamine rush. Okay. Well, how does this play out in your health? How does this affect your health? Well, if you're running on stress chemicals or stress hormones all the time, okay? If you're on cortisol and you're stimulating your cortisol all the time, that's the fight or flight. Okay, so that's the fight or flight syndrome kind of thing. What happens? Then you're operating in fear. That's your body's natural trigger that tells you something's wrong. There's fear. Get out of here. Go, right? And then what happens? Well, then you suffer the consequences. There's consequences for every action. But now you put your body into stress. Now you've put your body into fight or flight syndrome. And what happens with your subconscious? Your subconscious memorizes it. Your subconscious goes, oh, that's what we're doing? Oh, we're doing cortisol? Okay, all right. And now you have a pattern. And now you have a habit. And your subconscious learns in repetition. So once you do this a few times, it's a natural inclination. Now you have a habit of, running in overdrive. Okay? Now you have a habit of, adrenaline. Go. Stimulus, right? And then what happens? Well, then it's hard to relax. It's hard to be. Because you're supposed to do and then be. And then do and then be. Okay? You cannot just do, go. What happens when you do that with a car? It breaks down. Do humans break down? Yeah, all the time. Okay, that's why there's Mental Health Awareness Month. That's why May is Mental Health Awareness Month, because people break down. Now, some people break down because they have 3 jobs, because they're always working. Okay, we live in a state in Hawaii. I'm coming to you from Hawaii. This is being seen in 7 different platforms around the world. Okay, so we'd like to say good morning to everyone on TikTok. Trovo in Europe, good morning. Twitch, good morning. Okay. YouTube, good morning. Okay. All you guys. So we want to include everybody. But here's the thing, right? Humans break down all the time. Work. What do you need to do? Work-life balance. So this is 50-50. This is work. This is life. This is what you do for a living. This is how you live. Okay, this is your free time. This represents recreation. This is family time. This is children time. This is enjoy time. This is recreation time. Okay, whatever your hobbies are, surfing, water skiing, whatever, recreation, right? Now, when work starts creeping up on you, right? And the majority of people feel, this is imaginary, they feel they have to do more. They feel they have to do more. They feel obligated to take work home. They feel like they need to do these things, okay? They feel like they need to produce more. Now, this is work. And now, this little bit over here is personal. This over here could be going home and having an hour to yourself, cooking dinner for the kids, feeding the kids, making sure the family's good, and then going to sleep. And then start this all over again. And now your work-life balance is off. Think about it. Okay. Now, my clients are high-performance individuals. My clients are very high-performance people. So what do I need to remind them to do? I need to remind them to push this back here like this, because this is imaginary, most of it. Your job is not going to require you to take homework. If they do, you need to start questioning that. If they, are asking you above and beyond what they're paying you for, you need to question that. But most people are put in a position where they feel, where things are sub-communicated, where things are kind of insinuated that they need this job. If they don't have this job, they could lose this job. So if they don't do the extra stuff, then this job is in jeopardy, okay? You need to question these things because we have laws. You need to question everything, okay? But it cannot be understood. It has to be communicated. So communication is very important for Mental Health Awareness Month, okay? Communication. You need to communicate these things. If you have a problem, if you're under stress, if your work-life balance is like this, you need to ask questions. You need to communicate. When you communicate, you will get answers. But if you just assume or you take it upon yourself to just overperform, and then over here, what are you doing? What are you really doing in this scenario? You're cheating yourself out of life. Your time is your life. You're cheating yourself out of life. But most people wear this as a badge of honor, right? They go, oh, no, I work hard. I'm a hard worker. You can work hard, or you can work long, or you can work well. Wellness is very important, okay? There's more than work in life. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to work hard. You don't have to work hard. Have you seen these people that don't work hard that still make a lot of money and they don't work hard? You know why? Because in here they're pono. That's a Hawaiian term, which means in here everything is flowing. Everything is in flow state, where everything happens naturally, where everything unfolds naturally, where your life path unfolds naturally. Why? Because there's no overthinking, because there's no overworking, because there's a good work-life balance. Okay, now you can call this self-love, you can call this, self-care, you can, there's a bunch of buzzwords that they use nowadays for that, okay? But really what it is balance. It's important to balance. Because if you don't have time over here, okay, this is the work side, okay, and if you're like this, you have more work time over here and less free time over here, guess what happens? You get run down. And then you break down. Things start to go wrong. Things, you start to catch colds. You get more susceptible to illness. Pretty soon you have more downtime than work time. Because why? Because there's more work over here that affects over here. And then over here is like the quality is less. The time is less. Everything is less. Everything is out of balance. So what do you need to do? You need to bring it over here, okay? How do you do that? Well, let me give you an example. If you're like this and then you get 50-50, right? But you start working more, taking work home, doing more, overperforming, right? But you're a good performer, right? You're performing well, okay? You're doing really, really good for the company, all of that, right? You're climbing the ladder, doing all that stuff. But now you're being cheated out of your time. You're being cheated out of your life, okay? But a lot of people wear this as a badge of honor, but they have no idea what they're doing to their mental health. And pretty soon, okay, because you can't run on empty for too long. This is almost empty, okay? But you can't do that for very long. I used to do it. I used to do it all the time. My cycle was 2 weeks. I would go, push, boom, boom, boom. 2 weeks at a time. And then there's that one day that I couldn't get out of bed. I just stayed in bed the whole day. Right? Because that was my burnout day. Okay? And I could recover, but I needed a full day. And I used to just lay on my bed exhausted. Okay? But here's how you fix this, right? So the missing part over here, if this is halfway and you're already pushed like this, let's call this 3/4 for the sake of discussion. If this is 3/4, what you need to do is you need to you need to push back a quarter to get to half again, right? So this means that you've left out the gym, you've left out the recreation, you've left out all of that because now you're doing more work. So push it back like this. Get the gym in, get the recreation in, get the rest time in, get the naps in, whatever it is for you. That's more me time for you, okay? Me time is important, okay? Get that me time back. And just know that if you're like this and only got this much time, just know that if you push it back like this, nothing's going to collapse, nothing's going to fall apart, you're not going to lose your job, okay? If you're being threatened with losing your job like that, you need to ask questions, okay? Thoughts create loops, okay? Your body listens to your brain. Your brain listens back. Your subconscious, there is only the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. Okay, so your positive thoughts produce feel-good chemicals. When you feel good, what happens? More positive thoughts. What happens? More feel-good chemicals. Okay, negative thoughts produce stress chemicals, bad feelings, negative thoughts. What happens? Your subconscious learns it and go, oh, we're feeling bad? Okay. It creates a habit. Now you're in a thought loop, okay, but your thought loop is negative, and now everything's negative. If you're in a bad mood and you look at something, right, you're going to look for the bad parts of it. You're not going to look for the good parts of it, okay? That's how it works. That's how your subconscious works. That's how your reticular activating system works, because when you focus on negativity, your reticular activating system located in your brainstem goes, oh, okay, let's show you more bad stuff to validate this belief that you have that that's wrong or that's negative. And then what happens? Then you start going like this. What is this? I talk about that all the time. Or what is this? This is closed. What do you need to do? You need to open. You need to open to be receptive. You need to open. Okay, open is a metaphor. That's a metaphor, but you need to do that because you need to be open. You can close yourself to undesirable things. I had to work with people in other industries, in the entertainment industry, which was a very competitive industry. And there are things you have to do in certain environments. You know, I worked in different industries, but that's just one of them. But sometimes you have to be like this to keep the negative stuff out, or let's say it another way, to push the negative stuff off. So you have to do things like that sometimes. But you have to have the self-awareness to know the difference. Are you being like this or like this in protection, for protection? And can you open like this, like that? Can you flip the switch and open? Because sometimes you need to be like this. Okay, but can you open like that? If it's hard to adjust, it's because you've memorized this more than this. That's why. Okay? So I'm here to tell you that it's easy to do. It's not difficult, but it's a process. It involves affirmations, meditation, vocalization, and visualization. But when you do this, when you master this, okay, and when I say master, I don't mean like a martial arts master. You don't have to be that good at it, but you have to see it as the remedy. You have to understand this as the remedy, because when you understand this as a remedy, you know what to do. When you start to become more aware, or when you achieve a heightened sense of awareness, you can tell when it's going like this. Okay, because this creeps up on you. This work-life balance thing, it creeps up on you. You're at 50-50, okay? And then it creeps up on you like that. Pretty soon, you're panicking over here because you're like, hey, I hardly have any time. Like I hardly see my kids. And by the time I come home, I have time to make dinner and then feed the kids. And then I have to go to sleep because I got to do this again. I have to repeat this cycle again. And that's what I call the mouse wheel. From Monday through Friday, you're on the mouse wheel. Okay, different people are different. But you're on that mouse wheel from Monday through Friday. Saturday, okay, soccer, kids, activities. Sunday, church, family time, picnic. Monday, you're back on the mouse wheel. And if you're like this on the mouse wheel, and this is your free time, and this is work time, and this is your work-life balance, you're going to break down. It's just a matter of time. So, what do? Push it back like this. Okay? Me time. This is me time and family time. This is me time, self-care, self-love, and family time. This is, if you don't have a family, then this is other things. This is recreation. But this is self-love. This is all of that on this side. Okay? So it's important to keep that balance. So, your thought garden, if you will, you can create a thought garden, because your mind is like a garden, right? Okay? You plant seeds. If you water the right seeds, you get the right stuff. Okay? But you have to weed your garden. Okay? I'm using this as a metaphor, but yeah, think about it, right? You got to pull the weeds. Why? Because if you don't pull the weeds, guess what happens? This happens. Okay? These are the weeds. Okay? When you start weeding the garden, what? You start increasing the workouts. You start increasing the me time. You start increasing the relaxation time. You start increasing the love time. Okay? Whether it's self-love, family love, spouse love, whatever, significant other love, whatever. But that time, okay? Because this is work. Okay? Yes, it's important. Work is important. But work cannot be like this. Okay? If work is like this, it's just a matter of time before your system starts to suffer. And your thoughts become things. Okay, so bad thoughts do become bad things. Your chemistry is important. Your brain chemistry is important. Because that can drive everything else. That can drive your health. Okay? It's Mental Health Awareness Month for a reason. It's very, very important. So when you're in this state of fight or flight, when you're in this state of adrenaline all the time, right? What happens when you're under the gun at work? Adrenaline, right? Cortisol. you're go, do, right? I gotta get this done, I don't have time for this, I gotta get this, right? Like that. Slow down. Okay? Now, what's the solution? What's the solution for all of this? Well, we always talk about affirmations, meditation, visualization, and vocalization. But let me give you some other things that you can do to remedy this, okay? Because if you use these things to remedy this and you begin to recover, you will pull it back to 50-50. Okay? Then you will have more time. It's all imaginary. Oh, I don't have enough time for this. I don't have enough time for that. I lived with a professional. I lived with a professional person. And my mother always said, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. I said, Mom, why don't you come to the beach and watch me surf? I don't have time for that. She did come once. She came one time. She watched me surf, and I was like, yeah, she finally got to the beach, She would go to the beach, but for other things. We used to go diving and stuff like that. But I'm giving you examples, okay? I'm giving you examples. So in my experience, which is all I can come from is my experience, okay? I wanted to do quality time and include my mother in quality time. My mother was a professional. That was her choice, okay? But she did have work-life balance. It's just not the kind of work-life balance I wanted sometimes, okay? But, that was me, and that was in adolescence. So whether it's spending your time with your kids or spending time, period, for you, get it in, okay? Don't walk around going, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for this. If you're prioritizing your time, yeah, maybe you don't have time for nonsense. Maybe you don't have time to watch your kids surf. Maybe you don't have time for, that kind of thing. But yeah, make time. You can make time. Okay, I make time for things that are important for me. I make time for people that are important for me. I make time to go to things that, are important for me to attend, for me to be at, for me to, I make time. It's important to make time. You can create time. If you can create time, you can fix your imbalance. Okay, if this is work over here, Yeah, you got 3 jobs. Okay, you got 3 jobs. Make a day where you don't do anything and push this back. Okay, learn to manage. When you learn to manage, you can pull this back. Okay, I don't care how many jobs you're working. I did simultaneous professions. I still do. I do simultaneous professions every day, every week. And what's the key? Balance. Sometimes I'll sleep on purpose just to get it back. And that's the way I get it back. Because otherwise, what? Otherwise, I work like this, and it's off balance. And then I start getting sick. I haven't been sick I can't remember the last time I was sick. So, what I'm really saying is preventative medicine is also important, okay? So, Wellness Formula, Umka. Remember those 2 products. They've really helped me. 15 years, and I never missed a show, never missed a performance. Owning a wedding and party business, you only get that one shot. You cancel on somebody's wedding, you cancel on somebody's birthday party, you cancel on somebody's anniversary. That's it. And we always viewed that as a very important responsibility. So what I'm saying is that's an example, okay? But for you, when you first have that first twitch like that, do Wellness Formula. It will help you. Okay? If you're under a very stressful job, take these supplements as precautionary measures every once in a while. And that's what it's for. It says it right on the bottle, right? You take it as a precautionary measure every once in a while. So every couple of weeks or something, I'll take a dose, right? Supplements are important. Don't allow yourself to burn out, okay? Because when you burn the physical side, you burn the mental side. Where the body goes, the mind follows. Where the mind goes, the body follows, okay? So if you make this one good, right? The prison is here, okay? When you make this good, guess what happens to the body? The body's happy. The body doesn't act out in illness, okay? But when you are trapped here, you are trapped here. The entire body suffers, and then you have stress, and that's why people go to chiropractors. That's why people go to spas. They have to relax the body, okay? But first and foremost, it starts here. How do you do that? Here. Start with this one. I am so happy and grateful now that I am in perfect health. Thank you. Install that belief in your subconscious. Your subconscious will go, oh, we're healthy. Okay. And now what? Now when you're about to make an unhealthy choice, whether it's a donut or whether it's, something unhealthy, whatever it is, worry, your subconscious is going, oh, we're supposed to be healthy, right? And it will be easier to pull away from something like that. It will be easier to look at the dessert table at the party and go, no, that's okay. I don't need dessert tonight. I'll lose a couple of pounds. That's okay, And I have to do this myself. I'm saying this because I do this on my own. I do this as well. Because you have to do these things to maintain balance. Whether it's mental health balance, whether it's physical balance, whether it's, work-life balance. But work-life balance is the most important because we spend the most time at work. Okay, in our lives, we spend the most time at work. Hopefully it's productive work. Hopefully it's not just stressful work. But you can be productive even with the most stressful job. The high-performance clients that I have, right? And they're the majority of my clients. I take anybody who's willing to work, anybody who's willing to do the work. I don't just take anybody. They have to show me that they're really interested in healing. They have to show me that they're really interested in getting ahead. They have to show me that they're very sincere about goal setting and achieving their goals and manifesting a better life. And then I work with them. But my high performance people, right? They get into flow state, and pretty soon, after a couple of months of working with them, my question is, how's your stress levels? That's my first question. How's your stress levels? I have a nurse that she recovered from burnout. It took a couple of months. It took about 3 months to pull her out. But before that, it took her 1 month that she had to take a vacation from work. She didn't go anywhere. She wasn't enjoying herself. She was home. She was at home rehabbing herself from burnout. Just from work, push, that kind of thing. She's been with me for 3.5 years now. My question is always, how's your stress levels? Oh, good. Yeah, no problem. Now you can turn it off? Oh yeah, now I can shut it off. But that's how your subconscious works. You have to train it for that. Okay, vocalization is another one. So it's affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. What's the meditation part? You know, everybody goes, oh, do I have to learn Indian language and chant and all that stuff? No, you don't have to. You don't have to do that to meditate. You have to feel. You have to feel your intuition. You have to be still and know. When you are still, you will know. You will know. Your subconscious, there's 2 ways to look at the subconscious. We always mention it because we want you to hear it, because we want you to understand it. You can look at it as a frame of mind, or you can look at it as all of your senses. If you look at it as all of your senses, which is the spiritual way to look at it, okay? 2 Corinthians 10:5 for my Christians, okay? Take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. What is it really saying? Mindful thought control is what it's saying. Control your thoughts. Okay. Subconscious discipline is what it's talking about. Okay, for my Christians. Okay. For my non-Christians, okay, there is only the conscious, subconscious, superconscious. Okay, but your subconscious is where all memory is stored. And the only time you think you have a bad memory, a lot of people I know, they go, oh, well, you know, my memory is so bad, you know. I have senior moments. I have senior moments all the time. I had senior moments in my 20s, in my 30s, in my 40s. You know, I have ADHD, so my brain jumps tracks, right? But I had senior moments all my life, right? There was this time, you know, when I want to remember something, you know how you want to remember something, but you can't remember it? And then all of a sudden you're doing something else and boom, it pops in your head. Okay, that's subconscious. It's subconscious. You're not forgetful. You don't have a bad memory. You need to increase your self-awareness. What increases self-awareness? The vocalization process. Okay, there's the process that we do that involves velocity, wind strength, okay, projection of tones. Okay, that's the vocalization process for us. The other end of it, or the other way to do it, is to speak your affirmations, to speak your beliefs. Speak them if you want them. If you want to install a new belief, first write it. Okay? It's important to write it with gratitude. It's important to write it in such a way that you express gratitude and put it in the present tense. So like this, I am so happy and grateful now. Now. We're living one long now. We're not living yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're living one long now. And one day, this long now comes to an end. And that's the end of your now. But while you're living your now, it's important to write your affirmations now so that you experience it now, because there only is now. I am so happy and grateful now that I am healthy, or I am in perfect health, or I am experiencing perfect health, or I am experiencing work-life balance. There you go. You need to write it, you need to speak it, you need to feel it. Because in order to manifest anything, or let's say it another way, in order to accomplish your goals, or to bring it into your reality, or to hold it in your hand, you need to marry emotion with intention. Okay? And on the negative side of things, when you marry emotion and negative intention, okay, or negative emotion and negative intention, your subconscious doesn't know if you're doing it to somebody else or if you're doing it to yourself. It does not know. And this is why karma happens. This is why what goes around comes around. Because when you project something out to someone else, your subconscious does not know the difference, and it affects you. It bounces right back to you. Actually, it doesn't bounce. It goes directly into you internally, and you're not aware. But that's why. So, besides affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization, what can we do? Okay, here's what we can do. Okay, express gratitude all the time. Write down 3 things you're thankful for each day. It boosts serotonin and dopamine. Okay, the feel-good chemicals, feel-good hormones. Okay, and you want to keep that chemical soup going in your head, because the better you feel, the better your outcomes. Okay, you feel good, do better. Do better, feel better. Feel better, do better. Do better, feel better. What happens when this process happens? Better results, better everything, better friends, better relationships, better material things, better everything, better life. But better this one. And this one is relaxed, and this one is happy, and this one is joking around. I joke around all day, every day, with all of my clients. I'm happy with all of my clients. I'm grateful for all of my clients. Sometimes I have to cheer them up. Sometimes I have to, make things funny, so, it's entertaining for them so that they can change their mood, because they're very serious people. They have very serious jobs. And after a while, they start smiling and laughing with me, But those are high-performance individuals, high-stress jobs, like high-stress jobs, CEOs, attorneys, nurses, those kinds of, firemen, those kinds of things. First responders. But when you start to do these processes, everything becomes manageable. Why? Because now you have the off switch. You have the off switch. You go to work, okay, work mode. There you go. You're leaving work, right? Off switch. Now it's family time. No such thing as taking your work home. No such thing as taking your work personality home, your work persona home. No such thing. And then what happens at home? You're kinder to your children. You're kinder to your family. You're kinder to your spouse. Okay, gratitude. The second thing is kindness. Kindness is important, okay? Acts of kindness, random acts of kindness will change your life. Just be nice to people, that's all. Nothing, you don't have to give money or whatever. That works too. Generosity works, okay? But acts of kindness, what does this do? It triggers oxytocin, the bonding chemical. When you're kind to people, your oxytocin triggers in your brain. It's the bonding hormone. And what happens when that happens? You feel good. That's why when you can give something to someone, or when you can spend time, or you know that you've contributed something to someone, you feel good. You feel happy. You feel content. You have a good feeling inside. So kindness is important. Exercise. There's another one, right? Go to the gym, punch the bag, go work out, go, I go walking. It's a combination of walking and jogging, right? But, I'm not an athletic person. I have asthma. So for me, it's walking and jogging. More walking than jogging, but walking and jogging, okay? It's important to do as much as you can with whatever it is, okay? So that's another thing, right? What does that do? Endorphins, right? It floods your brain with endorphins. So after a good workout, you feel good, right? If it wasn't for the endorphins, you'd just be tired. But because your brain fires endorphins, right? Your brain starts flooding with endorphins after a good workout. What happens? People get addicted to working out. Working out becomes part of their routine, but it's a healthy part of their routine. You can get addicted to workouts like you get addicted to worrying. It's the same in the subconscious. After you do it for a little while, right? The subconscious learns in repetition. You do it for a little while, your subconscious goes, oh, we're exercising? Okay. I've been going to the gym since I was, I don't know, 35, I think. Before that, not too much. But when I don't go to the gym, I get agitated. I'm like upset. You know, I've had a toe issue where I couldn't wear shoes for a couple of weeks, and I'm going out of my mind. I'm like, I want to go to the gym. I want to work out. I cannot wear shoes. You know, pretty soon, right? And then it's back on the treadmill, so to speak. You know, I don't do treadmill. I walk in the park. I mean, I'd rather walk in the park than on a treadmill. But I'm just saying, right? So that's another thing you can do. What else can you do? Deep breathing. We have the 3-6-9 breathing method. Okay, inhale for 3, like this. Hold for 6. Exhale for 9. Like that. Do that 5 times. Do that 10 times. What does it do? It calms your stress response. The frontal lobe of your brain, you know, the one that thinks a million thoughts a day, it slows it down. You want to slow down your overthinking? Do that exercise. Okay? If you write to me, I will send you the sound file. There's a sound file. It's a meditation file. It's 1 hour long, and all you need to do is practice the breathing while listening to the music, because the music will relax you. It's 432 hertz. If you want to look up, you know, what music does, what relaxing music does, go look for, search under solfeggio tones. Okay, these are tones, therapeutic tones that help. This is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I want to share that with you. But I will send you the file for free. Just email me, junior@hereforyoulifecoaching.com. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to help. Positive self-talk. What does that do? Positive self-talk. You know, like, I am generous. I am kind. I am whatever, right? I am phenomenal. Go look in the bathroom mirror and go, I am phenomenal, right? And appreciate what you see. You have to love what you see, not in the vain sense. Not in the vain sense. But you have to support you. If you don't support you, you're going to experience negative self-talk, because it's either one or the other, right? In your mind, you are either installing positive beliefs about yourself or negative beliefs about yourself. But wherever you go, there you are. You can't run from this one. You cannot run from this one. Okay? This can be a prison. Okay, the prison is here. Okay? This can be a prison where you're confined, and you know, confined, this represents confined. Okay? Cannot get out. Okay? Like this. Just refuse to get out. This represents stubborn, withholding what? Withholding all kinds of stuff. Okay? If you're shy, you're withholding. If you're reserved, you're withholding. If you're withholding, guess what? You're holding yourself back from opportunities. You're holding yourself back from relationships. You're holding yourself back in your career. You're holding yourself back from a lot of things. What's the cure? This way. This way. This represents giving. This represents generosity. This represents kindness. This represents love. Right? But first, you have to fill this one. Okay? So fill this one up first. Okay? Because the prison is here. We have to unlock the gate. Okay? Unlock the door to the prison. Okay? First you unlock the door. Okay? How do you unlock the door? You start with one of these. I am so happy and grateful now that I am confident. Thank you. Always express gratitude after your affirmations. But when you start getting into positive self-talk, when you can look in the mirror and go, wow, you did a good job today. When you can look in the mirror and go, whoa, yeah, that was a really good thing you did for so-and-so today. That was a really good thing you did for your mom today. That was a really good thing you did for your family today. That was a really good thing you did for Tutu today. Okay, so Tutu in Hawaii means grandmother. or grandfather, okay, grandparents. But when you can do these things, and when you can give yourself credit for these things, when you can go, wow, good job, okay, it goes a long way. What you're doing is you're rewiring your brain, because now, instead of negative self-talk, it's positive self-talk. Change your mind, change your life. You can do that. The moment the doors were open for me and I started, into this journey, and the career was going like that, my health was going like this. My health was going like that. At the same time, my career was going like this and the health was going like that, right? And I had to fix it. I had to do major things in my life to fix it, like major stuff. Okay, we don't have time to go over all of it. And I'm not here to flex. I'm not here to, whatever. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to help you. Okay? But I will tell you that when my career was going like this and when my health was going like this, it was contradicting each other. Okay? And eventually, this, going like this, would have taken this and pushed it down, and it would have gone away. So my job was to try to fix that. Okay? And this is Mental Health Month, and I'm telling you that when I had to do this, it started here. It had to start here. And the career was in 1999. It started to go like that. I already had companies. I already had 2 companies. I was already doing my own thing. But the things I really wanted to do, right, started going like that in 1999. Unexpectedly, out of nowhere, God said, okay, here you go. There you go. You wanted that all this time? There you go. In 1999, boom. It wasn't until 2007 that I started really deep diving in everything, going, okay, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? Because I don't want this to turn into this, right? And a lot of people experience this in their professional lives. A lot of my high performance professionals are operating from fear, or were. My clients don't operate from fear anymore, but they were, right? And they were being driven by fear. And that is when you go, oh, well, I gotta perform, I gotta do this, otherwise I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna lose my job, whatever. And they're afraid that the bad stuff's gonna happen. And when you do that, when you operate from fear, when fear is driving you, when you, hi Karen, thank you very much, Karen. When fear is driving you, right? It's like you're running scared. It's like you're running scared when fear is the motivator. Okay, when you're being motivated by fear, like, okay, I gotta perform, I gotta do high performance work, I gotta do my best because otherwise I'm gonna get fired, otherwise this is gonna happen. And then you're suffering from the what ifs. What if this goes wrong? What if I lose my job? What if I can't do this? What if I don't perform as well? What if my numbers are bad? What if? That's like praying for something bad to happen. So my high performance clients, they don't worry anymore. They don't concern themselves with that anymore. Because the way to fix what's going wrong is to look at what's going right and focus on that and grow that, and eventually, just like that improper work-life balance, okay, that outweighs this. And all you really need to start with, okay, this is center. All you need to start with is 1%. Now, you have 51% positive, and you have, right, you're negative over here, okay? You have 49% over here. So, can you increase this a little more? Yeah, you can. But it's unrealistic to say like 80%, 90%. When I first do the intakes with my clients, I ask them, well, how much do you think your positive part of your life is? And then, a lot of them go, oh, about 90%. I just got to work on 10%. I'm like, okay. Okay, that's a stretch. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. Hey, KV. Hi, Olga. Yeah, so that's a stretch because that's unrealistic, okay? You're a human being. We go like this. We go like this. Good decisions, bad decisions. Good things, bad. We say good stuff. We say bad stuff. I say bad stuff all the time, but I correct it. You know, like, oh, Bob, you know, Bob is so lazy, but he's been my friend all these years, and I love that guy. You know, because we have friends, right? We always have friends that we don't like what they do, but they're our friends and we love them, right? So include the good part after you say the bad part, because we're human beings. We go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. But to get the back and forth less, to minimize the damage, to have a more positive life, all you need to do is start with 51%. 1%, that's not a lot of work. Okay? Affirmations, meditation, vocalization, visualization. Okay, so I'm out of time, but hey, we're gonna do this tomorrow again at 7 a.m. Hawaii time. We're on Twitch, we're on YouTube right now, we're on TikTok, we're on 2 Facebook pages right now. So we'd like to thank you guys, send you guys aloha and love from Hawaii, and come visit us sometime, okay? Come see us down in Hawaii sometime. We'd be glad to have you. We'd be glad to have you over for a visit, and then we're gonna send you home. I'm joking. I'm kidding. That's a Hawaiian thing. All right. So we see you guys. Thank you very much. We're going to end the international feed. Thank you so much, KV. Thank you, Jay, for moderating. Thank you, Karen. All right. We'll see you guys. Take care. See you tomorrow. All right. Hey, Facebook. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Aloha, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Hey, Marsha. Hi, Marsha. How you doing, Marsha? We'll see you tomorrow morning at 7. Take care. Aloha.